After you have thoroughly prepared for the video call, it's time to conduct the meeting. Let's go through some best practices for executing a professional call. Just because you aren't in the client's office doesn't mean you shouldn't dress professionally. It's easy to think that calling from home means that you can wear your superhero costume from the Comic-Con event 10 years ago. You should wear professional attire during this call. The better you look, the psychologically confident you will be and focused on the business at hand. It's important to be on the call before your clients join. There is nothing worse than having your clients on the call waiting for you. Remember that the client is the most important person in this meeting. Just because your computer restarted, or your dog was too loud, or you needed a coffee break isn't a valid excuse for being late.
Hello? Where did everyone go? I have your coffee and donuts. Hello?
In some situations, you may have new people from the account or new representatives from Velasquez joining the call. It is professional courtesy that you do a brief introduction with everyone. This will lower the stress and make participants feel more comfortable during the call.
Karen, I'm glad you are on the call. At least your sales rep Jack is on time for this meeting.
Now let's verify that the technology is working for everyone on the call. Is the audio clear? Is the video stable? Can people see the slides being shown? If there is a technical issue, it's important to address it at the beginning of the meeting, rather than to interrupt the meeting after it has started. Not everyone likes to be a TV star during the call, and the client may prefer not to have their camera running. That's certainly their option if they prefer to participate in a listen-only mode. While you can make them aware of the video option, you can't mandate they use it. However, the seller and representatives from Velasquez should always have their video on so that the client sees their faces. It builds trust and a more personal connection. Since you already developed an agenda, it would be wise to visually display the agenda on the video screen and review it with the participants. You can make adjustments to the agenda in real time and get agreement with the client concerning the topics and outcomes.
Can we also discuss pricing options during this call?
Mute or not to mute? That is the question. Some people don't like to mute themselves because they forget to turn it on when speaking. I get it. But not muting when you should is even worse. In a physical meeting, you can cough, sneeze, burp. You just simply cover your mouth, say excuse me, and you're good to go. When you don't mute in a video conference and you coughed and sneezed, it sounds like you just coughed and burped in the client's ears. And that's really embarrassing. It's a good idea to mute yourself if you will not be speaking for a while, too. Also, if you have multiple people on the call, you may request that the non-speaking attendees mute themselves until they want to talk. This reduces distracting noise during the call. Some clients act like they are watching a TV show. They just sit there listening, watching, but not participating. This could happen during a video call with your client. They could sit there on the call and watch your video show while not engaging in the conversation. You need to be sensitive to this situation and take action to engage with your client. You should pause frequently and ask the client a question or get their perspective on what was just presented.
What is your perspective on this topic?
Speaking of taking a pause, how long should you talk during a video call? Can you talk for 5 straight minutes? 10. Is it wise to deliver a 20-slide PowerPoint deck before pausing for questions and comments? In a video call, it is much easier for the client to disengage from the presentation compared to an in-person meeting. A good rule of thumb is to have the client verbally engage frequently during the meeting without it feeling awkward. Ask them questions, ask for their agreement, or share their perspectives. It is so easy to conduct a virtual meeting that some sellers like to have marathon video calls that can last 2 to 8 or maybe even 2 days. That's a mistake. Video meetings should be concise and ideally last less than an hour. Attendees are easily distracted during a video call. When the seller is presenting or talking, the client can be checking their email, Facebook, or slacking coworkers. It is more effective to keep participants focused during a shorter meeting. If you do need more time to cover topics during a meeting, you should schedule multiple meetings in shorter durations. You don't have to be the only person to present visual material. You should encourage your clients to share online content as well. You could ask them in advance of the meeting to prepare material they may want to share on the call. Perhaps they will share their new grand store opening plans or a new product launch. Having them share their own material will make the meeting much more interactive. Taking notes during a sales call is a good idea, so you can reference what is said and transacted during the meeting. It is a professional courtesy to let the client know in advance that you'll be taking the notes so they don't think you are Facebooking with your friends. Also, you'll be surprised how loud people can be when they are typing on a keyboard. It can sound like you're jackhammering cement on the call, which is distracting and makes it difficult to hear the conversation. The best practice is to mute your microphone if you are taking notes, or at least don't pound so hard on the keys. A professional athlete, musician, and salesperson should continue to practice their craft. Video technology is a relatively new tool for most sellers, and they should practice using it. Conduct mock sales calls with your leader or coworkers. Ask for feedback from your clients regarding the video meetings. As you become more competent with the technology, you will have better success in your role and more sales in the future.